All right, let's talk about AI assistants, because they're about to get a serious upgrade. I mean, we're way past just asking for the weather. Imagine an AI that can actually use your apps for you. Yep, let's get into it. Seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. What if your AI assistant could really do stuff? Not just, spit back a search result or set a timer, but actually take action. Exactly. We're not talking about small stuff here. Imagine you just say, hey, find and book me a flight to London for next Tuesday. And then you just watch as your phone does it. It opens the app, types in the details, clicks through all the pages, and bam, booking confirmed. Well, that's the kind of future we're diving into today. And it's all thanks to a brand new AI model called UI Venus 1.5. The whole idea behind it is to create less of a digital talker and a whole lot more of a digital doer. So you might be wondering, why don't we have this already? It seems like a no-brainer, right? Well, it really boils down to a pretty big roadblock in how our current assistants are built. Okay, so on the left, you've got what assistants can do now. They're kind of stuck in their own little world, right? They can answer questions, play music, but that's about it. But on the right, that's the dream. That's what we wish they could do. We want them to use our apps, handle complicated jobs, and most importantly, understand what's on the screen, just like we do. That ability to actually see and interact with the screen, that's been the huge missing piece. And that is where a totally new kind of AI comes into the picture. It's built specifically to solve this problem, and it's called a GUI agent. So what the heck is a GUI agent? Well, here's the key. It doesn't need some special, complicated access to an app's code. Nope. It literally just looks at your screen, just like you do. It sees the buttons, it sees the text boxes, and it figures out where to click, type, and scroll to get the job done. It has to actually find the submit button or the search bar visually. In the world of AI, they call this grounding. Basically, its understanding is grounded in what it can physically see on the screen. And all this info, by the way, comes directly from the technical report published by Ant Group's Venus team. This is the paper where they introduce UI Venus 1.5 and break down exactly how they built this incredibly powerful new agent. Okay, so how on earth do you train an AI to do something so human? Well, the secret sauce here is this really clever three-part training process they came up with. It's what gives this AI such a deep, intuitive feel for how apps actually work. First up, mid-training. The model basically went to school. It studied this enormous library of 10 billion pieces of data from over 30 different app data sets. You can think of it like an AI intern that was forced to read every user manual and watch every tutorial on the planet to learn the basics. Then came the real test, online reinforcement learning. This is where it learned by doing. But here's the cool part. It only got a reward, a good grade if you will, if it completed the entire task successfully, not just for one correct click. This forces it to think strategically about the whole mission, not just the next step. And finally, model merging. They took 3 specialized AIs, one that was an expert at grounding, one for web apps, and one for mobile apps, and they merged them all into one unified super agent. So it's this combination of massive book smarts, strategic, real-world practice, and then bringing together a team of experts that makes it so powerful. Okay, that training process sounds super impressive, for sure. But here's the million-dollar question. Does it actually work? Is it really any better than the other models out there? So naturally, the team put it to the test. They basically set up a digital Olympics, pitting UI Venus 1.5 against all the other top AI agents on a series of really tough challenges, or what they call benchmarks. And wow, the results speak for themselves. In all these charts, you're looking for the blue lines and bars. That's our champion, UI Venus 1.5. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if the task is navigating a super complex app or that grounding skill we mentioned, actually understanding the screen. It is consistently crushing it. It's right at the top or very, very close. Let's zoom in on a huge one. On this test called the Android World Benchmark, which is a brutal test across a ton of different real Android apps, it hit a 77.6% success rate. That's not just good, that is a new state-of-the-art performance, the best we've seen so far. But is it just getting lucky with its clicks, or does it get what it's looking at? That's what a grounding test is all about. And here, it scored a 75% accuracy in pinpointing specific things on the screen. That proves it's not just blindly tapping, it's genuinely comprehending the visual layout. And just to really drive the point home, on another really tough test called ScreenSpot Pro, it still nailed nearly 70% accuracy. So the big takeaway from all these numbers is pretty clear. This isn't a one-trick pony. Its performance is solid, it's repeatable, And it's versatile across all sorts of different digital hoops you make it jump through. Okay, so state of the art sounds fantastic in a lab. But what does all this power actually mean for you and me, like in our actual day-to-day lives? This is where things get really, really cool. The paper talks about it being able to handle all the stuff we do every day. Booking tickets on a travel app, buying something from an online store, even finding a specific recipe on a cooking site that matches exactly what you want. Basically, just think about any annoying multi-step thing you have to do in an app. The whole point of UI Venus 1.5 is that you can just give it one command and it'll take care of the rest. So this kind of technology is clearly starting to leave the research lab and head out into the real world. And that leaves us with a really fun question to chew on. Once you have an AI that can finally do things for you, what's the very first, most annoying, tedious task on your phone you're going to make it do?